Alright, what's up guys? It's VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out Red Green Luffy. That's right, guys. Red Green Luffy all the way back from OP01 in the OP06.5 format, going into OP07, you know what, next week or in 2 weeks. The pre-release is next week at the time of me recording this video for OP07. So we're going to be checking out this leader. It's been neglected for quite some time now. The leader effect is just a little bit steep. It just doesn't quite have the pull that it should, you know, compared to other leaders. And for a while, this leader also suffered from another problem where it shared a color pool with Red Green Law, which was just, I think most people would argue, was just a lot better. Or if they don't want to say it was a lot better, I think they can at least admit that it was just a little bit better, right? But now there's so much removal going on. There's so much easy to get to, easy access removal across, you know, removal across most colors, that it's nice to be able to exploit this leader effect now. Red Green Law has fallen off a little bit. I'm not saying it's unplayable, by the way. I'm never saying any deck is unplayable. But Red Green Law, it's so much easier to get rid of their cards on the board so that they can't get a lot of value from their leader now. But this leader goes about things a different way while using the same exact card pool. This leader is actually trying to go more in a, you know, speedy, you know, just run you over real fast way, and then just stand up characters and attack twice in one turn. So now it's like, okay, if you want to KO my character now, I don't really care because I've gotten 2 swings off with them, right? That's you know, one of the ways you can go about it. So anyway, let me just, before I get ahead of myself, guys, let me go ahead and give you guys a quick layout. We'll talk about what we're going to be doing in this video, and then we'll go about it from there. So first, we're going to check out some deck lists from the, I believe it's from the West, from quite some time ago, guys. This was almost a year ago, all the way back in October of last year. This was quite some time ago. We'll check those out because those are the most recent deck lists I could find running this leader. So, little, you know, it is what it is. We'll deal with it, but we'll talk about where you can go from there. Because that's one more thing I want to say, guys, if I didn't already mention it. In EB01, Supernova got some pretty decent support with Cavendish and Kid and Killer, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to be checking out some deck lists on OnePieceTopDecks.com. Then I've got 7 games for us today lined up on the sim. I've got a lot of games lined up, so, you know, we do got to hop into this. And then we'll finish up checking out some deck lists and an art critique at the very end. Or check out the deck list I was using and then an art critique at the end. All right, let's do this, guys. If you got any comments, questions, suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below. All right, so this leader, this is all the way back from OP01, guys. So there are some viewers here, some of the newer players who might be watching my channel who don't even know what this leader is. Maybe I've never even seen it before. But check this out, guys. It's a pretty cool leader. It's a 5,000 power, 4 life, red-green leader with Supernova and Straw Hat types for the leader type. It's Luffy. Activate main once per turn, pay 4. Okay, that's where it gets a little steep, right? That's a very big investment. Pay 4, set one of your cost 5 or lower Supernova or Straw Hat crew characters to active, and then give the character plus 1,000 for the turn. So right away, okay, we have to think about what kind of tools this thing just got recently in EB01 for us over here in the West. And it's massive, right? It just got Kid and Killer. So now, if your opponent is at 2 or less life, you pay on a 10 Dawn turn. Okay, this is what a 10 Dawn turn can look like. Attach 2 to your leader to swing for 7, right? Play out Kid and Killer, swing for 7 more, and then the remaining 4 Dawn, restand Kid and Killer to swing for 10 more, okay? Because Kid and Killer's effect is not once per turn. So whenever you attack and your opponent has 2 or less life, it's plus 2,000 for the turn. So when he swings the first time, he'll go from 5 to 7, and then when you unstand him, he goes to 8 from the leader effect, and then he swings again to get another plus 2,000 and swings for 10. Okay, guys? And that was one turn, swing 7, 7, 10. Like, that's very relevant, guys. That's a very, very powerful effect. And Zoro's not much different, right? Zoro you can do a very similar attack with. So it could be, but for Zoro, I mean, it wouldn't be as big, obviously, of attack, but it would be like, you know, swing 7, 6, 7, or something along those lines. Really good stuff either way. Okay, so now when it comes to this first deck we're going to look at. So this is from, let me go back real quick. This was all the way back from OP04. That was the most recent deck list I could find, and it is from the West, the English format. Check this out, guys, OnePieceTopDecks.com, OP04, going over to OP01 Luffy. This one right here. And these are the only 2 decks we have access to. So we'll at least take a look at them and go from there. Because, guys, this video, in case I didn't make it clear enough, we're trying to brainstorm. And we're trying to talk about how we can take this deck to the next level, right? We got to you know, do some brainstorming. This will be like an in-depth, you know, you know, deck tech walkthrough style, or deck guide, comprehensive deck guide style video. Sorry, guys. Stumbled all over myself. Okay, so I'm going to run through the list, and then we'll talk about it. Remember, guys, this is all the way back in OP04, so you know, there's none of the new EB01 stuff in here. But it was running 4 Otamas, 4 Nami, 3 Tony Chopper, 2 Zoro, 4 Nico Robin. This card, by the way, not a once per turn effect, so with that leader effect, you can actually pop some decent stuff. Okay, 1 Luffy, so this is just like their excuse me, this is like their finisher, right? Because they're just running 1, but they do have ways to search it with Nami. 2 Sanji, 2K counter. 4 Brook, again, not a once per turn when attacking effect, so you can get a lot of mileage out of this if you need to. 4 Kid and Killer. 3 Trafalgar Law, the blocker one. 4 Jewelry Bonnie. 4 Tony Chopper. This is the 2K counter one. And then 2 Brook. This is the film Straw Hat version of Brook that can cheat out of 3 or less. Okay. Then we have 3 Luffy, the 7 cost film version. Excuse me. 3 Gum Red Hawk. So back then, guys, a lot of decks were running a bunch of the 2 cost events, like especially back in OP0, 1, 2, 3, and up to about 4. People were still running like the 2 cost events. Now those have almost completely disappeared. I understand some decks still run them, but back then it was very common to see these kinds of events. Okay, so 3 Red Hawks, 1 Radical Beam, just a single Rad Beam. I think this is during the time. That's probably what it is, guys. This might have been during the time in One Piece where you could only run 1 Rad Beam in your deck. So that was a weird point in the Western meta where we were only allowed to play like a single Newgate, a single Rad Beam, and I think a single 4-cost Marco, the blocker. And then they're running 2 round tables. This is just actually an incredible card to just... It's basically a KO card. Even though it doesn't actually KO on the effect, you drop someone down to 10,000 power, the biggest character would be a 2,000 power at that point. You could just run into it with anything on the board. So very good stuff. And remember, guys, for the newer players, power, like cost can only go to 0. But power can go below 0. Okay, so if someone's a 5,000 power character, right, and you hit them with a round table, they are now a minus 5,000 power character. So a 0 power character attacking into them could KO them, and they'd have to counter out with 3 2Ks. You see what I'm saying? That is something worth knowing if you're a newer player. Okay, so that was the first list. Let's look at the second list now. And then, actually, excuse me, that was the one we just looked at. Now let's look at the second list. And... Okay, wait, are they identical? These might be identical lists, guys. No, sorry, this is the one we didn't see, because this one has Scratchman of Pooh at 4 of, instead of the... What was the card in that place? I'm sorry, guys, I'm like jumping all around here. There's something that one of these decks is like 1 card off. It might be the Brook or something. I'm sorry, guys, I keep going back and forth here. Whatever the case is, guys, I don't want to keep going back and forth. These lists are identical, but this one's running 4 Scratchmen of Pooh. It's still running the Otamas. It's still running the 2 Sanjis. Oh, so it's a 2K counter that's got to be missing. Sorry, guys. Let me just see real quick. This one's running... Oh, 4 of the Tony Choppers. Got it. Which makes sense, because that is searchable for Nami. Nami can search this up, but Bonnie cannot. Whereas with the other list we saw, this one can search up Scratchman of Pooh with Bonnie, but Nami can still search up like a Sanji, but that's really it. So maybe they should have done 3 and 3 to make it more balanced. Who knows? That's just, you know... That's just trying to nitpick at that point. But other than that, guys, the list seems pretty similar. Pretty straightforward. Now, the direction that I want to go, I do want to say this right now, guys, as we get into this video. The direction you're going to see me take Red-Green Luffy in this video, and the thumbnail will give it away for the most part, but I want to take this into like a film direction. Because flooding the board is very important right now because there is so much removal. I think I talked about that a little bit earlier in this video. Red-Green, you know, Law was an incredible deck for a long time before, you know, first of all, before the color black was in the game and before yellow was in the game for that matter. And then at the same time, there wasn't a ton of removal even in those colors. But now every single color has very strong access to removal. And at that point, you know, flooding the board becomes a necessity if you're going to run a deck that's running some type of green, right? Red has its rushers as a way to kind of bypass, it doesn't quite bypass removal, but it lets you get value before the removal can get your character. So red can already deal with it, but if you're going to have any kind of green, then you need to run something that can fill the board out. It's very, very important, right? Very, very important. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into these games on the sim, guys. Not a whole lot to talk about, like I said, because the game has changed so much since we last saw a good deck for Red-Green Luffy. Things have changed completely, and we will talk more about that as we get into this, as we get into the video. But first, let's go ahead and check out some games on the sim of me running a version of red-green Luffy that is much more film-based. Okay, let me hit play. I got the volume off. We are on speed 2x. Okay, and this is against Crocodile, this first game, and this is the starter deck Crocodile. I believe it's ST03. Okay, so there's one of the new cards that I'm starting to take advantage of. First of all, you see Shanks in my hand, and also, guys, Shiraya is a film card. So they're swinging for 5 me with Tashigi. I take one, counter out of the other, we're fine. I'll swing 3 and a 2 there with my new Luffy Searcher. That Luffy is a top 3 searcher for Straw Hat crew. Or excuse me, I think it's Straw Hat or film. I'll have to check in a second. Okay, play out Brook, and look what Brook can cheat out. Shiraya is film. Remember, guys, that is a film card. Okay, he swings 5 into my 3. He can't swing again this turn, so I actually really considered blocking there with Shiraya and just giving him a 1k, but I only had a 2k in hand. So I probably would have done that if I had access to the cards I need. Okay, swing 5 at him here. I just want to keep up pressure. Swing 5 more. Okay, go ahead and play out Law. And I'm going to bring back the Shiraya, or excuse me, the Brook, excuse me, to play out Nami, and I had one Dawn left active, so I could use Nami's effect. I'm refilling my hand. And that's one thing I want to say, guys. The reason I think we should start pursuing red-green Luffy as a film deck is because you have 2 very legitimate searchers now. They're just very solid. Okay, he has to red rock my Nami. He said he's determined I can't let him have any more value from that card. And I agree with him. He's right. Because I'm just going to start going away with this game. I'm going to start running away with the game if he doesn't deal with that. So I'm swinging 6 here, swing 6 there. I play out Luffy, which plays out Brook, which plays out Shiraya. I have a full board now. Here comes another red rock to take out my Luffy. He's going to swing 6 into 6. I can't let him have this. I would have blocked with a Shiraya there, I think, before I would have let him have that. He plays out a Logtown. That's interesting. That's a new card, kind of from the Nami package to start cycling cards. Okay, so I'm going to swing 5 in a leader here. I'm going to nickel and dime him this entire time, guys. So swing 6. I've got 10 Dawn left. I'm pretty sure I'm going to play Shanks. Yep, pop is Kuma. He is going to get that card. It is what it is. Okay, so right here, I have a 2k counter in hand, and that's it. My Luffy can't do anything else, really. So I do want to at least give him this 2k right here. All right. And he only can swing 1 more time for the turn. He's going to swing for 6. And then he's probably going to bounce. Okay, he plays out Miss All Sunday. Bounce one of my guys. That's very smart. I would bounce the Law back. But that's dangerous too, right? Because I can get value in other ways from that. Okay, so right here I have a chance to just start attacking into his board. And I'm going to take that opportunity. So I'm going to swing 5 at life here. Swing 12 at life. Okay. Right here I was considering. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to or not. Because, okay, when he gets Miss All Sunday, he's going to get back Red Rock, obviously. And it's like, all right, so, you do what you got to do. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. I'm going to swing for 5. Let's see if he takes it. He has 1 Dawn active. I don't know if that's like bluffing something or what. I'm going to swing 6 more at him. I'm going to play out my Trafalgar Law, bounce back my Shiraya, play out Shiraya unrested now. He red rocks my Shanks off the board like we knew he was going to do. Swings in there. I take that. And now, so he just taps out because he's realized I have lethal, right? The game is just over. Because what I can do here, check this out. So I've got 10 Dawn, right? Okay, so I swing 7 with my leader, or I could just swing 7 with Trafalgar Law first, actually. So swing 7 with Trafalgar Law. Then I could swing, 9 with my leader. And then untap Trafalgar Law and swing for 10 or something like that. So, that might not have been the exact math, but y'all get the point. He concedes there. He knows it's over. One more thing he should have done before he passed the turn was just bounce the card back to my hand. That was definitely the right call that he did not do. But at the same time, I think I can still do the exact same thing with my Shiraya. I don't think my Shiraya changes that, right? Like, I think I could just do it. The exact same thing I said with my Shiraya, but it won't be as clean a math. And look at this. The most he would have been able to counter out of would have been an 8k from his hand. Like, so 2k, or he has a Gion for 2k in his life, and a 1k from Pudding. Okay, good game there. Next one. So that was Luffy versus Blue Crocodile. Next up, we have Luffy versus Purple Luffy. Okay. Volume's off. Speed 2x. And here we go. The deck feels very strong. I have to say that. But I'm not done with it, guys. So as you're watching the games play out, if you have any ideas, please put them down in the comment section below. I go ahead and snag a Shanks there. That would be very nice. If he plays out the 9-cost Kaido later in the game, I'll be able to pop that no problem. But again, like I said, if you can think of any other ideas to take this deck to the next level, by all means, y'all tell me down in the comment section below. Because I think I'm close to something here, but we still got a little bit, we got to work on it. But I do think film is the way to go, like I said. And y'all tell me what y'all think about film in particular. I have two games at the very end. The last two games we're going to look at are just a straight-up Supernova version. But it felt a little clunky at times. It didn't feel like it had the same staying power as this deck does with those two insane searchers on the board right there. Because I think that version I was only running Bonnie in the Supernova exclusive version. He swings for 7. I don't want my life to get too low against a deck running purple because they could have Kaido, obviously. So right there, I 2K, 1K out. He plays out Eustace Kid. He's probably going to ramp right here. Or maybe he already did. I didn't actually pay attention. All right, so I need to keep the pressure on. So we're going to swing for here with Nami. I'm going to draw a card with that 2K counter. He can just block this with his Eustace Kid, but that is dangerous as well, right? Because then I could attack into his Eustace Kid. He chooses to block with it, and I might not be able to. He called my bluff there, and he might get it because I really want to play out my Trafalgar Law here. So I'll swing it just a standard 5. Again, I'm really trying to do the math here because I want to attack into that Trafalgar Law, but I just can't. It would be too stupid of me to do that. So right here, I go ahead and play out Law, bounce back my Luffy, play out Luffy, and there's another incredible interaction with this deck with the Trafalgar Laws. You're establishing a blocker. I could have done that on my Nami if I wanted to make it where they could not attack into Nami, but I'm trying to use Nami as bait right now, and look at this. He is not taking the bait. He is on 9 Dawn this turn, so I can't actually, I can't block with Law, or he'll pop everything, right? He'll run into everything and pop it. Okay, I guess it didn't matter either way. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have actually done that because he popped it anyway just to get through. Okay, so swing out there. I counter out to save the Nami. I had one more 2K left. He should have put that one more Dawn in, but he probably saved that one Dawn actually for a Blast Breath or something. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, so he passes back to me. I'm not even at 10 Dawn because he ramps so fast as Luffy. So I'm in a little bit of a predicament here. I'm in a little bit of a situation. I'm going for phase here. I go ahead and get a card that way. I got the Luffy, which was really nice. Okay, I needed that Luffy because now watch, guys. Now watch what I can do. Swing 5. He has to give me a 2K counter. He's out of good cards. And I fill out the board. I just completely fill out the board. And this turn, he is on 7 Dawn. So he can ramp to 8 Dawn, but that's not really anything. That's not, a break point that I'm worried about. What can he play for 8 Dawn? It doesn't. 9 and 10 Dawn are the big ones, right? He plays out Magellan. That card is so frustrating, guys, because it's setting me back. Next turn, I can't play Shanks now. And he knows I have Shanks because I searched it early on. He swings 10 into 5. I'm starting to think I should block out of this, but I really, how do I say this? I really need to keep my blockers here because I'm in trouble. Now, never punished. He swings in, and look what I get off the top. We'll take it every time. So we're going to go 5 into face here. Let's see what he gives me. If he takes this, there's some consideration to go for game, right? There is some consideration to go for game if he takes this hit here. Let's see what he does. 5. This is just a 5 and a 5. He should just give me a 2K right now or take it. I mean, I don't, or a 2K, a 1K, or just take it. He has a lot of options. So if he takes it, he's kind of revealing, or block out, right? I don't know. I completely looked over that as well. So now he's going to have to give me an answer. And okay, now I know he has no 2K counter. And I also know he has, just no cards, pretty much nothing in hand. Okay, he does have a 1K counter. See, why wouldn't you just counter, that's the weird part. I would have 1K countered out of the 5K attack and gone about it a little bit differently. But no big deal. So I play out Nami, do a search real quick. I'm trying to see what I can do here. I'm going to smash into Kaido for 10. And I don't think it's going to be enough. I think what I probably should have done, looking back there, is I probably should have just busted the, gone way more into the Kaido, 12 into Kaido and not even played the Nami. Okay, so counter out there. 5, give him a 1K. Your turn, let's see what you got. He's got 9 Dawn. He probably has another Kaido here, if I had to guess. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember this game. In fact, I think this is one of my, I don't think I've played this, how do I say this? I recorded this one a while back. Now, I think he's going to quit the game here because he just read what Kaido does. Okay, pause. For those who are not aware, this card is leader locked, okay? Unless he meant to do this with the Luffy. Maybe he meant to play Luffy instead, but look what he did, guys. This is a 10 cost, 12,000 power character. On play, Dawn -6. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, KO all other characters other than this one. So it's like, buddy, Okay, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but that is not how it works. So you know, he was out of luck there, unfortunately. But I will say this. Notice what was in his hand. He had 10 cost Luffy. If he played out 10 cost Luffy this turn, he probably could have won the game, right? Because I have 1 life left. So if I can't counter out of, well, all I would have to do is be able to counter out of 1 attack next turn. So as long as I can counter out, but then I probably couldn't, right? Yeah. So excuse me. If a lot of things I got to talk about real quick. Number 1, I don't think I should have swung as aggressively into face here, and I should have committed more into KOing the Kaido. That's first and foremost. Number 2 is at the end there, he actually could have won. Like he could have won that very easily if he had played out Luffy instead. But he thought that there's no reason to run Kaido in this deck, guys, if you're running 10 cost Luffy. There's literally no point. So that was definitely an oversight on his part. But at the same time, if he had played out that Luffy, he should have won that game. Very good stuff there. That's why card knowledge matters. You need to know what the cards do, guys. Make sure you read every single card in your deck, so that way you know what it does. That's a very, very big deal. Okay, volume's off. 2x speed, and we're good to go. So we're going against Enel now. Enel is a very strong deck. We know, you know, Purple Luffy's not exactly top tier right now, but Enel is up there going into OP07, guys. And I believe this is an OP07 version. We'll know as soon as he starts playing some cards out. It might be OP06.5. I can't remember. So, all right. So right here, I go ahead and play out the Nami. I missed what happened there. He attacked in. Did I get that trigger? I think I got a Luffy trigger from the top. So, guys, that new Searcher Luffy, it's a top 3 search only, but it has trigger to activate the effect. So I can cheat something into play very, very easily with that card. Or not into play, but, you know, get a card draw to my hand. Play out the Nami. I draw a card from it. My hand size is going up. So is the Enel's, though. The Enel's hand size is going up as well. I do take this card. I'm kind of playing with fire right now because I'm trying to get under the range of his Gadatsus. Because if I could get under the range of 4 with the, or excuse me, under the range of 3 with the Gadatsus, my Shirayas are safe, other than from Yamato. Yamato can potentially get them. But here, guys, check it out. Brook into Shiraya. I've got a blocker. I've got almost a full board. And I've got a lot of cards in hand. Okay, I'm not going to give him that card for free. He's going to have to swing into it. I give him 2. Block with Shiraya, 1k counter out. And let's see what he has for 5. He has a ace. Well, I think he better, next time he should reread that card. Like, again, guys, that's why card knowledge is so important, and it's why some people meme about people on the sim. Not trying to be mean or anything. I love playing on the sim, but there's no reason he should not have swung into my Nami there for 7 into 5. Shiraya keeps the leader's power until the end of the turn, or it might be until the start of your next turn. I can't remember the exact wording, but it's not just for 1 block. Okay, so I untap. I've got a lot of options here. Let me get this thing off. There we go. I do a Nami search. Nami in this deck is crazy, guys, because you can also untap it with your leader effect for 4 Dawn and just do the attack again. It's absolutely insane when you need it to be. Okay, so he plays out, or excuse me, I attack with Brook. He takes that. So, of course, I'm going to swing into that. What did he get? He trashed something there to go up a life. And now I think I'm going to, oh, he got a, his last life was you're the one who should disappear to give him a life, and then his leader effect gave him a 2nd life. But notice his hand is gone. His cards from hand are gone. So right here, I'm going to replace the Nami. I've got 2 blockers now. I have 2 life. I'm feeling pretty comfortable. The biggest card he can pop right now is a 4 with what's her name, with Yamato, which I think he's about to play right now. He's trying to replace one of these characters. Oh, Katakuri, excuse me. So he decides to push Luffy back to my life with this Katakuri. I'm not too scared of that, though, right? That's not really a big deal for me. I'm going to counter out of that if I can. 7 into 5 is rough. I can't save it this time unless I want to give a blocker, which I definitely considered. But he has another 7k. Okay, sure, you can have it. Not a big deal, right? Not really a big deal, to be honest. Okay, so right here, we're going to go 5 into life. Looks like I'm trying to be super aggressive here. He takes it. I'm going to play out Shanks. I'm going to pop that. I have a blocker. I have 3 life. And now I have a legitimate threat on the board. He does gain a life with Yamato. We know how good that card is. He's going to swing 5 into 5. Honestly, I shouldn't take this, but I only have a 2k and two 2ks in hand. It's like, no, I shouldn't. I do agree. Because look at this. He's got a 7k and a 7k coming here. So that would have been an absolute play mistake if I had taken that guy, guys. That would have been a huge play mistake. Okay, so in this situation here, it's hard to like go for lethal against what's his name, against Enel, because what if he has beige in his life? What if he has, you know, another counter, excuse me, the event in life to go up another life? It's just not worth it. But I do go for it. But I don't think that was the right call. I'm just telling you guys right now that that is not the way to do this. But I decide, okay, we're just going to go for it. We're going to swing 7. He does counter out. We swing 12 into here. Okay, and then I'm going to play out this guy, which plays out a blocker. Now, watch this. The lesson of today, guys, like the moral of the story today, is to know what your opponent's cards do and know what your cards do. Watch what this guy tries here. Number 1, I have 1 life left. Number 2, I have 6k counter in hand. He doesn't know what I have. I have 5 cards in hand. He rejects my last life card, okay, and now he only has 6 Dawn left to swing with 2 different bodies. Okay, let's see what he does. He's going to swing, because I have 2 blockers. I only have to get out of 1 attack, and I basically win the game. Because I think 2 things happen this game. Number 1, guys, is I don't know if he realized that reject takes his life there, right? Because that's what just happened. Am I crazy? Let me go back real quick. Yeah, so, yeah, he only had the 1 life left. Now, watch what happens, guys. He loses that life, and he can't get it back now with Enel. There's no way. Enel's leader effect is only on your opponent's turn. So if it's your turn and you lose a life, that's game. So if he cannot survive, or if he cannot swing through this turn, it's game over. Let's see what he does. He's going to swing for 7 first, which is just a nice attack. Let's see what he does. Come on. I think he... But here's the thing, guys. Like I said, know your opponent's cards too. Know your own cards, but also know your opponent's cards. I don't think he realizes that Bluno is a blocker. So it's like, okay, I'll tell you what. We'll just counter out of this one. And he's thinking, like, watch this, guys. He's like, okay, I think I just win the game, right? And I'm like, nope, block here. And he just quits. Because, again, I don't know if he realized or not that you can't get through there. Or maybe that was just his last-ditch effort and he was hoping that I would mess up. But look at his hand. I seriously doubt that. I seriously doubt that. Because there's no reason to go reject this turn if I'm playing. I'm not saying he would have won this game. But if I was playing in this other player's position here and I see that hand up there, look at his hand. He has an ace he can play this turn. Like, he has an ace he can play this turn that can just blitz in, and I'm starting to lose cards. I'm hemorrhaging cards, hemorrhaging life, hemorrhaging blockers, and he just keeps filling out the board. And he's got a 2k and a 2k in hand. Like, I don't know. That's just me. But oh well. I'm not trying to be overly critical. I'm just trying to say I think there was a slightly better line of play there. Okay, next up we have Green Uda. Speed, 2k, or 2x. Here we go. This is almost a mirror match, but I get access to red film cards, and they only have access to green film cards. So, pretty interesting here. I'm going to swing for 6 with my leader, play out the new red film searcher, snag a 2k counter there, the new Sanji from EB01, and they're going to swing 6. Now, they do have a very nice, where we have 2 searchers, they kind of do as well, right? They have Nami as a searcher, and then they have New Genesis as a searcher, and they get to search every time they swing. So, really, they actually have a little more than us in that regard. And they have 5 life versus our 4 life. So I'm going to swing 5, and they're already down to 3 life. So they're basing their entire play on the strategy of just get straight to Eustace Kid, and then drop him, and just counter your life away, block your life away in whatever ways you can. Now, I'm going to block out of that very easily. Let's see what he does here. Honestly, there might have been a play. There is a world in which the play should have been load all your Dawn up and swing into my my blocker there, because then I lose my board state. But gaining a board state for them, by the way, trashed and I'm invincible to stand up the Nami. I don't know if that was worth it or not. I'm just being honest, guys. I don't know if that was worth it. So I'm going to swing 5 here. I'm going to swing with the Trafalgar Law as well. I'm trying to eat cards up out of the hand. I'm going to play out the Luffy into the Zoro. Or maybe Shiraya. I can't remember which one I choose. Yeah, play out the Zoro. This is a much more aggressive line of play. If I need to, I can swing, twice with that Zoro for very effective numbers. Okay? Swinging 5 at face. So they obviously want to do a 7 Dawn play here, right? At least. 7 Dawn's like the minimum they'll play out this turn. I get another Shanks. Guys, that Shanks is a good way to break a tie. I have to tell you right now. Shanks is a very strong card that just like, how do I say it? Like when it's kind of a stalemate on the board, Shanks comes in and says, nope, pop that character, and I've got a 10 cost 12k now. That card is very strong. I'm invincible there. Seems good. That popped my character. You hate to see it. It is what it is. I still can't play Shanks this turn because I'm only on 9 Dawn. But, like I said, guys, I played pretty aggressively last turn. Where now I've got 1, 2, 3. I think I have a total of 6 swings this turn if I need them. Or 5. It might be 5. Let's see what I choose to do here. Okay, swing 7 into Nami. He doesn't defend it at all. So 1 Dawn on, what's his name there? Zoro. There we go. I got there eventually, guys. Swing for 7 there twice. That was really nice. Block out. I knew he was going to play Doflamingo. He had 10 Dawn active. I knew he was going to play that. But I have the correct answer, right? Yes, I tapped out my characters, which is a little bit scary. That can be a little scary at times. but at the same time, I have 3 life. I've got a 2K and a 1K in hand. I am saving that card. I'm not letting him have that card because he wants to play Eustace Kid this turn, I believe. And he does it incorrectly. Watch this. He got a little greedy there trying to swing. Actually, excuse me, he only has 7 Dawn. He can't even play Eustace Kid. My bad. He is going to go for that character with everything he has. I have to let him have it. I don't have anything left in hand to defend with. But now he has 5 Dawn left. What is he going to do with this? What is the play here? Is he going to load everything up on Bluto and attack? I'm invincible, yeah. So basically, you know, not the exact same, but pretty much the same thing. Okay, right here, I'm going to get 2 free attacks into that Uda if he wants to defend with it. And he does. Watch, I actually remember this part. He counters out with a 1K. 4 more into it. I'm just getting free cards out of hand at this point. That's fine. Because these cards have been on the board the entire game. I haven't gotten any value. I finally just got the extra value from them. And now we're going to swing 6 into 4. We'll take it. And if I need to, I can stand that card up, right? If I absolutely need to. Okay, 12 into there. I'm not too worried, though, now that he let the card go. I would have used the other Bluno if I was him. But I guess he knew I could attack in with my leader effect afterwards. So one thing I will say while we're talking about this is notice I don't use the leader effect a lot because you just simply can't, right? You still have to develop the board or you're going to get run over, at least in this film version. All right, right here, I've been waiting for him to play that card. That card is not going to save him, right? I don't want him to know what I have in my hand just yet. I want to swing first. I'm going to swing 5 at life. He did not put a Dawn under Eustace Kid, so I don't have to swing into him. Again, moral of the story, guys, know what your cards do. If you don't have a 1K Dawn under, or excuse me, a Dawn under your Eustace Kid, you can't swing with it. It's just that simple. I have a blocker. I have 3 life. I'm feeling pretty good here. He has 2 cards on the board that aren't relevant. And I have a lot of attacks coming in next turn. You know, big attacks. So excuse me, he had 9 Dawn left. He's going to play out the Luffy. He's going to play out Uda. And plays out another blocker. Look at this wall, guys. I'm just coming in for 12s here. Just get that out of the way. And I've got a few options here. Okay, we'll see what he does. I think I play this out, bounce my Luffy, rebalance it. That is such a nice interaction. I really want to grab Shanks here, but honestly, what I should have grabbed was a 2K counter. I think it was gross negligence there not getting the 2K counter. But we're fine. We're still fine. The game's not over. I have 2 blockers on the board. I have a 2K, a 1K in hand. I have 2 life left. I should be okay. He swings for 7 at face. I'm pretty sure he's going to try to go for game this turn. I'm pretty sure that's the idea. But he has 3 I'm Invincibles in his trash. So the most he can get from that leader is 1 more attack. Excuse me. He has no way of tapping down my Luffy, so I'm feeling pretty safe here. I'm okay taking this hit. Now I have a lot of answers in hand, and he just tries to fill out the board. That's respectable, but again, my board is massive. 12 coming in, 12 coming in. He has to give me two blockers there, and I'm going all in this turn for a game because look at my hand, guys. I've got this new card called Kid and Killer from EB01, and he's done for. He is done for. So we're going to go 7 here. Let's see what happens. Okay, come on. Just waiting on him. So right here, I swing 7 more. And now, he should not have countered out. He didn't know this, but watch this combo, guys. Play out Kid and Killer. Swing for 7. You're going to have to give me a blocker. And I'm going to stand him up and swing for 10. GG. You're done. No way out of that one. That was a good play he had at the end there. And that was a very interesting list. It had so many blockers. But in the end, it just wasn't quite enough. Okay, let me see which one we got next. We got 1 more from the film Luffy. And then we've got 2 for the Supernova version of Red Green Luffy. This was a very fun deck to play, guys, I have to say. Like, this was a very enjoyable deck to play. Because look at the searchers I have, guys. There's so much card draw, you know? Like, that is a film. I think it's film or Straw Hat Crew searcher. It might be just film, but I think it's film or Straw Hat Crew. But it's only a top 3 search. Okay, swings in for 5. I'm not trying... Okay, against any deck running blue, you need to be playing around Pudding. Okay, so I'm going to counter out of everything as aggressively as I can this turn. But I'm still going to try and keep pressure on him. He played out Sadie to play out the Mina Koala, bounces the Sadie back to his hand to ramp a Dawn, very solid, then plays out a Desert Spada. That was nice. That is a very strong interaction for a blue-purple Hannyabal. Okay. I swing for 5 with my guy, swing for 5 with my my Searcher, 5 with Leader, play out another Searcher. I'm just fixing my hand as best as I can, and now I've got 6 cards in hand. I actually feel a little bit vulnerable right here in case he has a Pudding. Because any kind of value he gets here and he reset... Like, look how strong my hand is, guys. I have 2 2K counters, two blockers, a searcher, and a blocker. Like, I have an ideal hand, so you better believe I'm countering out of this. Like I said, I do not want to get hit with pudding this game. Okay, that one I'll take because now I go back up to 5 cards in hand. Plays out Domino. He's going to pull back his blocker. Watch this, guys. Pulls back the Mina Koala to protect it and Ramp of Dawn. Awesome. This guy definitely knows what he's doing with this leader. Really, really good stuff there. Okay, but I want to keep the pressure on. I'm, you know, this game's long from over. We have to keep establishing board presence, keep establishing threats, keep this guy on the back foot. I don't swing with my other blocker or my other searcher because I want to play out the Nami and draw a card that way, establish more board. Okay, he can have this card. That's fine. And he has 9 done. Mihawk. Hits me with a Mihawk, guys. That is a great card to ramp to with Hannyabal. Because Kaido is good as well, but you lose all that Dawn you just ramped to. Mihawk says, hey, I'm out on a 9 Dawn turn when your opponent's on like their 7 or 8 Dawn turn. So it can hit anything in the game at that point, right? So that is an incredible, incredible synergy. Very well made deck and being piloted very well. Okay, so I guess whatever just happened there, I was rambling, I was just yapping. So he's going to hit me with the Gravity Blade. That sucks. I need a 2k, 1k counter out of this one because I'm not getting out of this 9k attack. Get a Cavendish, okay? This list we're looking at here had slight revisions that we saw that were also from the last game against Uda. These last 2 games we just saw, this one and the previous one, had small revisions where I introduced the EB01 stuff. Okay, I'm feeling good because I popped the Mihawk with my Shanks, and his follow-up play is not a Kaido. It's not anything aggressive. It's an X-Drake. I'm like, okay, this guy's actually in a little bit of trouble here. And then he swings for 5. I'm like, sure. All right, we'll counter out of that. Plays that Mina Koala. Now, remember, there is a card called, like, Champion Rifle. You have to be very careful with your sequencing against Hannyabal, because if he plays that card out, he can bounce the card back to your hand that's still active. So you do have to be very careful when playing against this deck. You need to do it the right way. So this turn, what I want to do is I want to play out Cavendish, Brook, Nami, draw a card. Swing for 7. Watch this. Okay, he bounces that up to 8. Very nice. You know, that is a very strong interaction there. Play out Cavendish. It untaps 2. Play out Brook, which plays out Nami. Draw a card from that. I can't get the Kid and Killer. I wish I could get Kid and Killer here, because then it is game over next turn no matter what. There's no way out there's no way out of it for him. Now, this turn, I'm a little bit vulnerable. Because now I do have 2, 4, 6k counter in hand. So what I want to do here is I want to counter out of something very soon here. But watch this. He goes, oh, you're going to take that? So he comes in for 9. And in this situation, I take it. Okay, that was a little bit of a gamble. Let me pause. Oh, no, excuse me. I could get out of it either way because I had 2, 4, 6 to get to 11 to get out of this last 10k attack. But then I got another 2k counter out of life, and this game is over, right? I'm going to counter out 2, 2, 2, and now there's no way to survive next turn, right? Because I'll be swinging for 12 with this guy, and then just tons with everything else, standing one up with leader effect. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different attacks. He doesn't even have 6 cards in his hand plus his life, right? There's just no way out of it. Okay, really good stuff there. All right, now moving on over into 2 more games that take the deck in a slightly different direction, and I do want to know what you guys think. I want to know if you guys think this version's better with the Supernova package, or if you think the film version is a little bit better right now. Personally, I think the film version is better, splashing a few Supernova cards. Okay, I do want to say that, like in other words, like 80% film, and then about 20% Supernova. That's kind of the direction I think it should be going. Let me check my time real quick. Okay, we're doing good on time. All right. So here we go. This is against Perona. Perona is a serious match. You know, that's a serious, like, this deck is very solid. I let him have, what's his name, Zoro there, because he can use Hiyori to play out another card for free. He can play out the, whatchamacallit, for free. So I use this turn to fix my hand and give him some targets on the board to KO. Because you can have these jewelry bodies. I've already used them for the searches, and I got some decent searches with them. You can have them. I don't care about them. Okay? Is he going to attach 1 and swing with it? I think that's what he's thinking about doing. Swing 5. Yeah, I'll say there's no reason to do that. Don't waste your Dawn. There's absolutely no reason. Draw 2, trash 2 with Sabo. I guess there might be a reason here to swing, actually, the more I think about it. Unless he's not trying. Oh, okay, so excuse me. He was actually not trying to use that card. He wants to use it next turn with the card with the event, You Can Be My Samurai. So very smart. Very, very good heads-up play there. I'm going to swing 5. I had to do it like that, unfortunately, because I wanted to get the search off with Bonnie. My choice there was essentially use... Okay, I won't pause it. I could have swung for 6, or I could have done the Bonnie search. My Bonnie is going away this turn, so I'd rather try to catch my opponent slipping there and get my Bonnie search off to get the value, rather than the other way around, right? And get no value with Bonnie, and then he still can block out with a 1k counter. Or take it and draw a card from life. So that's fine. He plays out exactly like we knew he was going to do that. He did You Can Be My Samurai. Plays out a bunch of cards from hand here, guys. Like, his board is fully developed. He still has 5 cards in hand, 4 life, 2 blockers, and a 7k. Like, that is a big, big card right there, guys. Okay, let's see what he does. He's going to swing 6. I'm going to block out of this because I have a 7k blocker, and he does not swing Sabo. I would have swung at Jewelry Bonnie because now I do get a free attack with Jewelry Bonnie, right? Because you want to use a blocker here because I will attack into blockers, right, if I have to. So right here, I kind of want to punish him. I'm going to swing 7 into a 6. That is an ugly attack. He 2k counters out. Swing 6 more into 6 with my Luffy. Okay, he decides, okay, I guess I will let it go now. It's like, yeah, just playing it was not smart. So I'm going to swing there. I was trying to get him to block with his Sabo, but he did not fall for it. I was going to get him to block with Sabo, untap my Luffy, and smash into Sabo. But very smart. And then he drops a Kuzan. Got 10 cost Kuzan. Like, I have not seen that in the Perona list. And I don't think it's good, by the way. Because imagine if this was... Okay, imagine if this was a Doflamingo instead. My Basil Hawkins, my leader, and my Luffy are tapped. And then you swing, like, a 5k leader into my Bonnie and 7 into face. I'm just saying... I'm not saying that Kuzan is a bad card. In fact, it's like one of my favorite cards. I think the card is so awesome. I wish 10 cost Kuzan was better. Right, or I wish there was a better time to play it. But it's like, you know what? It's just not as good as it should be right now. But I still think Doflamingo should have been the call there. Okay, I don't know how else to say it, guys. I don't know how else to say it. Swing for 5. Okay, I have to get a little aggressive here and give him a targets to attack into on the board here. Because he is starting to outpace me. This deck has good searchability, but that will only take you so far when your opponent's dropping these mega characters. And I need a Shanks, right? I don't think I run Shanks in this version of the list because it's the Supernova version. The film version, I'm fine with him, building towards the late game because I have probably a decent enough late game to keep up with him. But with the Supernova version, I have to be a little more aggressive, and he just quits out. So unfortunately, let me put the glasses on. He decided to try to go all in on my Basil Hawkins there, and I don't know if he just didn't know what my leader does or not, but I actually... Well, okay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. He has no way now of surviving 2 attacks. I have 24... Okay, I have a 7,000 power Basil Hawkins, right? And a 5,000 power leader. So, next turn, I'll have access to 10 Dawn across 2 bodies, 12,000 power between the 2 bodies, right? 7 and 5. Add 10 to that for the Dawn, so I could swing for 11 and 11. Or I could have gone like 10 and 12 if I wanted to be like maybe as safe as possible, the best possible situation, and he did not have enough to get out of it. But remember, guys, I don't know your hand, unless I saw every single search you have, and I didn't. Or if I did, I wasn't paying attention. So it's like, dude, try to play the game out, because I don't think I would have gone for lethal that turn. I'm going to be honest. Like, I might have if I had no other option, but it's hard to remember what I was doing in the situation. But he did know how aggressive I was being. I was being very, very aggressive. Okay, versus Purple Yellow Pudding, guys. So this is an OP07 running, or excuse me, OP08 rather, running Red Green Supernova Luffy. Red Green Supernova Luffy, and he gets a pretty decent start here. Going, what did he get? Oh, did he get that from life? Excuse me, he got Paraspera from life. That's crazy. That's not bad, right? Not bad. He's gonna ramp here. He shows me 2 cards. Parasparrow and some kind of Kaido. I don't think I've ever seen that Kaido. I think it's a promo Kaido. So he's going to play out Boncray Bentham. And how do I say this? I'm really far behind at this point in the game. I need to establish something on the board here. I need to get some cards going for me. But at the same time, anything I play is going to be able to match with his Mr. 2. So I play out Cavendish. I should have swung 7. I did things a little bit backwards, but it is what it is. Cavendish is kind of like my only chance right now, right? I needed a card that was going to give me some type of advantage. Where film could get advantage from playing out lots and lots of bodies real fast, like cheating them out into play. With Supernova, you have to get lots of value from each body, if that made sense. Hopefully that made sense. I know it was a little bit clumsy. He plays out of Viola. I don't understand that play. I don't understand Viola in Purple Yellow Pudding. because if you're playing the deck correctly, at least from what I've seen, the most efficient way to play it is you just ramp. You just keep ramping, and who knows, the deck might change in the future. There's all kinds of different ways to play each deck. We'll swing 5 there. Now I'm going to get 2 Dawn for free with my Cavendish. I think I want to swing for 7 is the idea here. Yep. Here we go. Swing 7. Guess what's coming next? Trafalgar Law, bounce Zoro, play Zoro, swing 5 more. So now my board is disgusting. What does my opponent want to play here? Wants to play a 10 cost Lin, which is very, very dangerous. So I have to play this in the exact perfect way because he has a beige on top of his life. I have to swing with Cavendish first, which means I need to clear some Dawn up. So I think I play a Basil Hawkins here. Yep, now I have Dawn, I can unrest. I'm going to swing 6 in with Cavendish. It's smart for him to take this here because he can turn off an attack with that beige. He uses it on Zoro, though. Okay, that's fine with me because I can actually restand my Cavendish if I need to here. Okay, but I don't think I do. I think I establish another Law. Swing 5. Play. I've got 3 blockers now, by the way. I've got 3 blockers. Play out the. I think I'm going to play out the other. Oh, do I stand Cavendish here? I can't remember. There's a turn coming up, I think, where I establish Cavendish. No, I bounce back to Zoro, replay it to swing for 5 more. I'm considering whether or not I want to give him the Parasparrow. And my answer was no. Do not give him Parasparrow. But then he swings for 5, and I'm like, I really messed up there. I absolutely should have swung there to give him Parasparrow because he's going to play another 10 Mom now. Okay, and that's, 10 Lin is less than ideal for me, right? I'm not in a great spot. Now, it does lose, or excuse me, that was an ace. Okay, even better. He plays out ace here, but I can get out of this pretty easy. Block with what's his name? Basil Hawkins, 2K, and we are going for game here, guys. We're going for game. There's no other way out of this one. Swing for 7. I get that Dawn back I just used. He can have that Parasparrow all he wants. Okay, now I need to swing for as many efficient plays as possible. Restand the Cavendish to get extra cards out of hand. And now we're just going in for straight 7s. He has 2, 4, 6. He has 6 cards in hand. 1 blocker. He gets a beige, obviously. Last card is a beige. Fine, whatever. Swing for 7s. I'm going to go 7 3 more times because that's all I have. Right? Well, this 7 and then 3 more is all I have. So if he has 2K, 1K, 2K, 1K, he can win this game. That's his only way because he has a blocker. He has to have 2, and he doesn't. Pause. So that's what he had left in hand, guys. I guess I should have known that one was going to be the Kaido card because we saw that already, and the other one is a Parasparrow that we knew about. So all he could have done was gotten out of one of those with our game knowledge. Okay, good stuff, guys. So that was it for all those. I know we had a lot of games to go through today. We had a ton of different games. Let's check out the list now and talk about it a little bit before we move on to the art critique. So here it is. This was the final version I was using of the film version of the deck. And I already want to make like 1 or 2 more changes. I think one change I want to do is go down 1 Trafalgar Law and maybe go down 1 Shanks and go up 2 of the, or maybe even just go down 2 Trafalgar Laws actually. Anyway, bear with me. What I was going to say was the Basil Hawkins is what I wanted to go up. I would like to fit in 2 Basil Hawkins because the card is just a beast. It's just a monster. And again, this is the film version, by the way, guys. This was not the version we just saw at the very end there that was Supernova. We'll look at that one in a second. But this is the current direction I'm taking the deck, and I think it's very strong, guys. I think this is the way to go moving forward. Bardo is also Supernova, by the way. I had not considered that, but I don't think I'm running a ton of ways to rest characters and stuff like that from one of your effects. Draw. Yeah, I don't think this is really what we're trying to do. Because I would like to fit in maybe 2 Eustace Kids, maybe... I don't know, maybe not even Eustace Kid, actually. Maybe just straight up, what's his name? This guy, Basil Hawkins. Because this is a strong tempo play. And guys, this leader, remember, this leader is Supernova. So you can run Basil Hawkins and get the effect from it. And that way you could have, I just think it'd be pretty decent. We'll have to see. Future play testing, we'll be able to tell. A few other things to consider, like, if this Bonnie is really good. Okay, this Bonnie can rest any character. Or, excuse me, up to one of your opponent's rested characters or Dawn do not become active during their next refresh phase. So, like, if you're trying to keep someone off 10 Dawn next turn, you can keep their Dawn rested. If you're trying to keep a character from untapping next turn, you can keep it rested no matter what it is, as long as it is rested already, which is a massive deal. Eustace Kid is a decent idea here. This new Zoro card is decent. And speaking of this, I do want to segue just ever so slightly into this idea of going, like, Trafalgar Law with this package. There is an argument to make this deck more of a red-green law version of the deck, especially with the film variant, where you're just filling your board as wide as you can, you know, exploiting things like Trafalgar Law here to, you know, replay your, where is he, the Luffy. And so, also, real quick, look at this, guys. It is a top 3 film search. So this Luffy cannot search up Straw Hat Crew. How weird is that? I understand it's for balance purposes, but man, that's messed up. How can Luffy not search up film? You guys tell me in the comment section below if this is from a specific point, like maybe in one of the movies or something instead of the anime, or I don't know. Y'all tell me. Okay. So the Supernova stuff with Bonnie, Apu, that's more for the other deck we'll look at in a minute. So let me go back. Let me get off this and go to film, and I just want to show you guys kind of what we have access to that I'm not running. There is an idea to run this, you know, like this is a film card that can get back your 3 cost or less, what is it, red character cards. So you can get back cards, like actually quite a few decent ones. 3 cost or less, you can get Shiraya back, you can get Luffy back, and there might be a few others to consider at that point. At that point, in fact, maybe you run Film Gordon, the 2K counter. So that way your Udo will have that option to get back. Like, do you want a 2K counter? Do you want a searcher? Do you want a blocker? It actually has a lot of utility in that way. And maybe even Backrat. This is another card I did not even get the chance to play test yet. 3 cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter from OP07. Blocker on opponent's turn, once per turn, trash card from hand, and then give up to one of your leader characters plus 2,000 for the battle. Just a solid card. Beppo's another 2K counter, but this is a promo card, so I don't know how costly this is currently, and I'm not going to look it up. So that is another thing to consider, though, you know, if you do want to kind of mess around with the idea of running Uda, because this is a strong card, guys. 4 cost, 4,000 power. It's a film card. Now, you can't cheat it out with Brook. Brook can do a 3 or less film or Straw Hat Crew card, but you can cheat it out with the 7 cost Luffy. Where's he at? It's probably right in front. There he is. This card right here. So you can play this out, which cheats out the Uda, which grabs back other cards, you know, some of the cards we mentioned. Good stuff there. Shanks just feels like the MVP of this version of the deck, and it makes the deck feel very strong. Other than the obvious stuff like the searchers, like Luffy here and Nami, these searchers are crazy, especially in conjunction with Trafalgar Law. And then Kid and Killer is just an insane finisher. This Saga card here is just a 2K counter. I don't use it for anything else because you can't restand it with Luffy's effect. But look at the Dawn ×1 when attacking effect. So it's this character gains plus 1,000 until the start of your next turn. Then at the end of this turn, trash one of your film type characters. So it's kind of like a kamikaze type of attack where he gets rid of himself, unless you can get rid of another film card, maybe like Luffy or something. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, you can't stand this guy back up with the Luffy. He can only target Supernova and Straw Hat Crew characters, so I'm not really too worried about this one attacking effect. It is better than nothing, though, right? It is at least better than nothing, and then you could trash a card that you're not really using, and then, hey, maybe that's another reason to run something like Uda to get these cards extra value from the trash. Ein here, this is, you know, remember, everyone's used to seeing the 4 cost 5K from Purple that can ramp a Dawn. Guys, this one, 7 cost, 6,000 power, excuse me. On play, set a character's power to 0. The only thing I don't like about this card is, number one, it's understated. 7 costs for 6,000 power. I'm not a huge fan of that, even though it is at like a break point against 6K leaders. That's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a 7 cost card. Like that is very big. I almost wish they had adjusted this to be like a 4 or a 5 cost card with a similar effect. But 7 costs for that, I'd rather almost just run a round table. Like, I'd rather run round table at that point and just pop whatever I want to if I need to for 4 Dawn. Okay, I think that's about it for this first little set here, or for all the for the film options. Like, there's a few other options here and there, like Ben Beckman, Monkey.D.Luffy, just straight up vanilla cards that are high value. But we are already, excuse me. Oh yeah, we are. I was gonna say we are already running Zoro. Excuse me. If you want to try a different card here, like maybe a 7 cost 9K, a 4 cost 6K, or even, technically speaking, I think Usopp is a better choice here. Whereas the 3 cost one, I'm missing him. Here it is. I think this. Excuse me. Am I crazy? Okay, right here, guys. I just lost it for a minute there. This Usopp is actually probably better in this deck, like technically speaking, than Zoro, because you can cheat this out with your Brook. So if you need to go super wide against certain decks, that Usopp is nice. And then, hey, who cares? It's a 1K counter in your hand. If you need to use it for that, just trash it. Get rid of it. Because your 4 cost spot in this deck is actually held up by 2 extremely important combinations. It is Nami. That's a 4 Dawn card, in my opinion, guys. I'm sorry. It's a 3 cost, pay 1 to do her effect. That's 4 Dawn. You have to do it. or Brook, right? Brook is the other option. And in that case, just cheat out a 3-cost Usopp instead of the 4-cost Zoro. So I think that would definitely be like an immediate change I'd make. Like I said, I'd like to go down like maybe one or two Trafalgar Laws. Let me see something real quick. Maybe even go down, like I said, maybe go down one Shanks. I don't know. That's hard to say. I'll do it like this for now and go up the Basil Hawkins. Let me, sorry guys, let me get a Basil, Green, boom. Like go up 2 of those. This is probably my final revisions for now. Like I said, this could be another card. This could be a Gordon or something. This is just a 2K counter, guys. I like that it's a 4-cost 5K though. So that way you can, you know, essentially what you can do is you can swing for 7 with this guy. Because remember, so he's a 4-cost 5K, right? Attach 1 Dawn, and then when attacking, go another plus 1,000. So for 1 Dawn attached, you're swinging for 7,000 with him for that turn. But then you're going to have to trash him at the end of your turn unless you do something to interfere with that, like playing out a Luffy at the end of turn to do a search, and then you can pop that card instead of this one. There are some options there. There's some interesting options there. There are some interesting options there, by the way. Okay. And yeah, so that's about it for the film stuff. Let's go ahead and look at the, let me show you guys the red-green. This was a rough draft. Let me show you guys this one, X. So this was like my first attempt at it going into like EB01, OP07 range. This was my first draft of it, and I made a few revisions to get in the Cavendish. Nothing too crazy here. And I will link the Y version. Actually, this is probably the very first version. Yeah, this is the very first version. I will link the first, excuse me. I'm confusing myself now. So the first version that we looked at today on here, which I called Red Green Film Luffy Y, the most recent version I think is the best version. I will link that in the comment section below for anyone who wants to try the deck list out. However, this was the very first version I messed with. I don't think we saw this version on the sim. We might not have, but this was like the rough draft where I was still messing around with Nami, had the rough Rush Luffy's in there. But it's like, wait, why even run Rush Luffy when you can just run Kid and Killer? Like that became my logic. Now the only logic against it is, or like for running the Luffy, is it is searchable, right? It's searchable, but not by film. It's only searchable by like Supernova and Straw Hat. But this version doesn't search those, right? This is a film searcher. Well, I guess technically Nami. No, excuse me. Nami's a film searcher as well. Excuse me. So I was completely wrong. This is a film searcher exclusive deck here. So again, why would you run the Luffy over the Kid and Killer unless you just want to be unblockable? I guess that is like the one perk, and that's a pretty big perk. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now let's go over the red green. Okay, did I not? Where is it out of order? Red green Luffy. I don't see it, guys. I must have gotten rid of it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have the other Luffy anymore. Wait, so what was I wonder what I was playing at the end there. It must have been, yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I must have gotten rid of, oh, Red Green Super Luffy. I was going to say, I know I didn't, because I recorded it last night. I was like, wait a minute, I'm just going crazy. So here's the list I was running towards the end there. This is just the straight Red-Green Supernova version of the list. I'm even messing around with the jet pistols. I think these are okay. But I'm going to be honest, guys, this deck felt very clunky. It felt a little bit clunky, especially after playing the film version. The film version just fills out the board and just draws cards like crazy, and then gets tons of really solid attacks. And one thing I want to mess with, like I already said, was, let me go back to Supernova real quick. There we go. Supernova, red, green. I actually might want to mess with red-green Trafalgar Law film coming up soon here. Like, you know, RG film law or something like that. And I have messed with it a little bit, but not since I've made the revisions that we just saw today with Luffy. Because if I can fill the board out consistently enough where I can pull cards back, think about it, guys. Remember, okay, Law's effect, let me read it real quick. If you have 5 characters, return up to one of your characters to the owner's hand. It doesn't care what cost it is, okay? It doesn't matter what cost it is. So you can pull back a Shanks if you need to. And then check this out. Then play up to one character with a cost of 5 or less of a different color as the return card from your hand. So if you needed to, like in that case, you could pull back Shanks, play out Law, which would pull back like a Searcher Nami or a Searcher, what's his name? The Searcher Luffy card we were looking at, and then plays out like a, I don't know, maybe a Rush Zoro or something. You guys see what I'm saying? And then get this, that was only 2 Dawn to do what I just said, right? If we were playing with this leader, if you have Cavendish down, you could swing in with Cavendish to get 2 Dawn back and play out that 10-cost Shanks if you needed. Like, I'm not saying that will happen very often. It's very hard to keep characters on the board right now, but hopefully you guys see what I'm saying. Like, there is some potential there. Running 2 Hody Jones, because this is like, I think this deck is running the 2 best finishers in the game. I think, 5-cost Luffy, all the way back from ST01, I think this card, Luffy, and this card, Hody Jones, are the absolute best finishers in the entire game. I just think they're the best ones. Not to say that, like, oh, they're better than Gecko Moria or something. No, Gecko Moria is not meant to be a finisher. It's meant to be, like, a game-securing, card. Like, it secures the game for you. It starts pushing you into your win condition. But this card, Hody Jones, and Luffy, and even Kid Killer, like, these are just such insane game closers, like executes, you know what I mean? Just really good stuff there. All right, I'm done rambling with that, guys. Let's move on to the art critique. Let's finish this video up. Today, since we're doing the film stuff, of course, we will look at the new film Luffy card. So this one, we got to talk about the composition a little tiny bit. We got to talk about these circles going on back here. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my tool here, with my searcher tool, or my circle tool, rather. There's a lot going on here, right? We got a circle here. We got a circle going past that, right? There's like this, I don't know if he's like coming out of the, whoops, I don't know what I just did. Whoops. Something like that. There we go. I don't know if he's coming out of like a cloud of smoke or something, but he's like, look at Luffy. He's just like, boop, I'm here. And that's the first thing I noticed with these rings. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the angle. He is basically falling on top of us, right? It looks like he's like fallen down from the sky and he's about to smash us, the viewer, right? The user. And the foreshortening on the feet going up to the body is done really well. The face as well, just super, super iconic with, this, where's my drawing tool at? Sorry, guys. There we go. Put it on green. This iconic smile. I've heard people talk about, small spoiler warning here, guys, for those who do watch the anime. I've heard people speculate, and you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I've heard people speculate about how this has something to do with the Will of D, because that's basically a D turned sideways, right? I don't think it is, but I'm just saying, like, let me go with the green one more time. So here we go. We have a D now. Turn it. Hang on, let me blow this up. And who knows with Oda, right? Because one thing that is interesting about this is, like, I don't know. We always see Luffy smiling, right? And even when Roger was always smiling too. Like, there's this Will of D, which I don't want to go too much into that because, like I said, I only read the fandom. I only watch spoiler videos. I only watch all that stuff. I don't actually watch the show straight through, so I won't give my full interpretation of that because it's probably just off. But I did watch a video recently. I'll try to link it in the comment section below if I remember. Talking about how, what if the Will of D just had something to do with, like, this certain, either, I know a lot of people think it has to do with, like, relation, like, relatives and stuff, but at the same time, it could, who knows what it could mean. We'll have to wait for Oda to really reveal it. Regardless, back to what we were looking at here. This smile, that huge Cheshire Cat smile, like ear-to-ear smile, absolutely iconic of Luffy, looks great. And in this setup in particular, I don't know when it is in the storyline, but it looks really cool with his, like, he's got the black shirt on. I don't know if this is from, I know this is a film card, but I don't know if this is from, like, the movie. Maybe, y'all tell me down in the comment section below. Is this from the Uda film or the film movie? I'm not sure. One thing I do really like about this one, though, is we can actually see the background. Okay, so with this picture, again, going back to the concept, or excuse me, the composition, notice the background, we have trees. We have a lot of stuff going on back here. Like I said, it looks like he's above us almost. Hang on, lost my spot there. So it looks like he's above us, falling down from the trees. You see these broken branches, these leaves. The background is the trees. The mid-ground is just Luffy, right? It's like Luffy with his hands up. I don't know if y'all can see my hands. It's hard to see in this camera. He's got his hands up. He's falling in. Like, here I am, smiling, classic Luffy, right? Eyes closed and everything. Just that super, super big smile. And then the foreground is his feet, like, just stepping on our face, right? His shoes are just smashing us, and we're getting, overwhelmed, or overloaded with, like, here I am, it's me. Really good stuff. Very friendly picture and really awesome picture. This was one of the few alt arts that I pulled from whatever set, what set was this, OP06, and I was like, you know what, I'm probably just going to keep this one. Typically, I like to sell my alt arts to help compensate for costs and stuff for new sets and new cards and whatever I need, trading, you name it. And that does always take precedence, I will say. Like, if I can trade these out for cards, I do that instantly. But this is one that I was like, you know what, hopefully this one doesn't trade, so I can keep it, because it's just a really cool card. All right, guys. Sorry, I know I was all over the place with the end of this video and with this composition. I really want to know what y'all think about, like I said, maybe put spoiler warning for the people who want to talk about it. But what do y'all think about the Willow D? What is it? I've got my own theories, but I don't want to just spout them out on here and look crazy. Because like I said, I don't follow the whole anime, but I love watching the spoilers. I love watching the theory craft videos on what they think certain things mean and all that good stuff. All right, I'm done. All right, let me go ahead and put on the patrons page here real quick, guys. Well, excuse me, the playmat page first. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel. The VV Pirates playmat supporters over here. Had a few new ones since last time. I think it was, I don't remember where I left off, but Al D, Adam D, Marcel, Jacob, and Matthew. Big shout out to you guys. I should have that out on Monday. And then for all the local guys that helped as well, and I've already mentioned all of them too. So good stuff there. Big shout out to those guys. And then lastly, the patrons page. Got a little bit of alliteration for you here. The VV Pirates patron page, triple P alliteration. Awesome. Big shout out to you guys too. Thank y'all so much for helping. Thank you to everyone who watches my videos. Okay, just everyone. If you're just watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting. If you're doing any of that, you're helping me out big time. So thank you guys so much. And again, one more big shout out to my sponsors and the people that bought the playmat that helped me out in the ways y'all do. Y'all go above and beyond. I really do appreciate it. All right. Till next time, guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed. And until next time, peace.